Hi everyone, I want to do a video because I've been having a lot of people ask me, particularly gay men asking me how to have a healthy and clean sex life. It's a stressful thing. People want to make sure they're enjoying sex, they're relaxed during sex, and they're most importantly clean during sex. So I've got 5 tips for you to make sure you can enjoy sex and to improve your sex life a bit. The first is making sure you've got enough water going on in your diet. Try and get about 2 to 3 litres a day. You can do that with water, obviously, but also herbal teas count towards this. The second tip is to make sure you've got enough fibre going in your diet. Now, the best way is just to consume vegetables really and whole grains. So making sure you're getting at least 8 portions of fruit and vegetables a day. Now, I know the government say 5 portions, but if you can get 8 portions, that's 6 portions of veg and 2 portions of fruit, it really does help. The green leafy vegetables are your friends, so make sure they're in abundant quantities. The third tip is to think about reducing your dairy intake the day before sex and during the day of sex. Dairy can actually make your stool a bit more slimy. So think about how much milk you drink. And the biggest problem here is people think about the biggest perpetrator here is probably the most common source of dairy in our diet is whey protein, particularly those that go to the gym. So think about if you're having these shakes, are they impacting your ability to go to the bathroom? Are they impacting your stool? What you can do is either switch to a different protein blend, so either get a vegan protein shake, there are some actually nice ones on the market now, or even use collagen protein, which is a new one out. So it's really it's a dairy-free source protein. So the other tip is more of the fourth tip is more of a supplement tip. Now, a word on supplements is this is a food-based supplement, but just be mindful if you're on any medications to get it checked by your doctor before you proceed. Now, this is psyllium husk. Now, you can get this from any health store or online. Now, I want you to get the powder and use a tablespoon in a large glass of water and drink on an empty stomach in the day. But what I want you to do is just make sure that you're not taking this with your PrEP medication or taking it along with other medications, because it can bind it. I try and get like 2 to 4 hours away from medication. So I just put this in my protein shake and it really does the job. The last thing I want to focus on is for all those IBS sufferers. If you're having digestive issues, then you need to get to the bottom of it. If you're suffering from bloating, diarrhea, cramping, or even constipation, then that's going to really impact your sex life, and you need to make sure you are getting it sorted to be able to enjoy and relax around sex. So, for instance, digestion can go wrong for many people, but it can also be many different causes or reasons for it, and stress is also a big cause of this. What I tend to see with digestive cases is the most common thing is looking at food sensitivity or intolerance. So you want to really understand what foods you're eating and whether the food is impacting your stool or your digestion. And you can just simply look at your food and think, is it worth me doing an elimination diet, which is the gold standard to understand whether I have a food sensitivity or not. The most common food sensitivities are gluten, dairy, soy, and egg. Now, it's quite hard to eliminate all 4 of them at once, but you might look at your diet and think, actually, I'm consuming a hell of a lot of gluten, and a 2-week trial removing gluten, let's see how it impacts my digestion. Now, I'm not telling you that you're a celiac but you might have a slight sensitivity to gluten. There's no harm in trying it. The other thing I see a lot of people is a lot of people have trouble with actually digesting their food. So either they're not chewing their food properly, which is important, or their actually body is not breaking the food down. So that's important to look at. Whether they've also got an imbalance of good and bad bacteria, whether there's a parasite or a candida or yeast infection, or whether the actual gut lining is compromised. Which is essentially called leaky gut. Now, the real way to actually look at this and find out exactly what's going on is to do a stool test, which I do in clinic with my clients. Or so it's really important, if you're suffering really badly with IBS, don't suffer in silence. Don't just be taking anti-cramping medication or or anti-acid medication because you're getting heartburn and it's impacting, or whatever it is. You need to find out what the actual root cause of the digestion going on in your digestion is. For you, it might be one thing. For someone else, it might be a completely different thing. So what you've got to do is work out exactly what is happening. Now, those are some of the tips that are going to be covered in my book, Naked Nutrition, which I'm currently crowdfunding for. If you're interested in knowing more, I need you to go to unbound.com and pledge to pre-order a copy of the book. There's a lot more covered in this book. There's also other topics covered. So it's I really want to make sure in this book that it covers all aspects of LGBT life. Pledge now, and I'll keep giving these videos out to make sure we all have an enjoyable lives. Okay, thank you very much for listening. Take care.